Hey everybody, welcome to the Austin's Audit Podcast and the final episode of 2022. I'm your host, Austin Gerke, and we're going to kick off this final show with the picks for the weekend. In fact, that's the majority of the show, really. Picks for the weekend from the NBA to the NHL to the college football playoff and the NFL. So let's go ahead and jump right to it. We're going to start in college first because New Year's Eve is tomorrow, and you got the big playoff games first with the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl in TCU in Michigan, and then you got the Peach Bowl in Atlanta with Georgia and Ohio State. I'll get to the other bowl games I'll pick the other bowl games in a second, but these two are the ones that I'm going to highlight with the score. So if you've got an interest there, top two games of the weekend of the year. Here we go. In the Fiesta Bowl, as I said, when the playoff got revealed officially back earlier this month, I'm still taking Michigan. Now, I don't know if Blake Corum will honestly play, but Michigan's got enough of a run game and their offensive line is big enough to beat up on TCU. So I'm going with Michigan. Will they get 30? No. But I'm going to go 28-24. It'll probably be the closest of the two playoff games. I'm going 28-24. Max Duggan will throw for 300 at least. That's what he has to do in order for TCU to have a shot. You also got to have the ball turn over twice. 28-24, probably the closest of the two playoff games. I'm going with Michigan over TCU in the Fiesta Bowl. And then in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Ohio State, Georgia, CJ Stroud, Stetson Bennett, probably the highest scoring. Yes, Georgia's defense is pretty good, but this will be the most explosive offense they faced all year long for the Georgia Bulldogs. And I do believe Ohio State will at least get 30 points on. Stetson Bennett, you don't have to do much, but they will do just enough. Expect Jake Fromm to go for at least $150 as far as reception yards and a touchdown. I'm going to go 34-31 Georgia over Ohio State, which leaves Georgia and Michigan in the national title game a week from Monday on ESPN at SoFi Stadium here in beautiful Southern California. So again, to repeat the playoff games for tomorrow, I've got Michigan over TCU 28-24, and I've got Georgia over Ohio State 34-31. That'll be these two games. I know the playoff has not created a whole lot of great games, at least since the inception of it back in 2014, but I think this year truly will be the difference. These are the four best teams. Now we're going to actually see how this goes. Again, Georgia 34-31 and Michigan over TCU 28-24. So those are the playoff games. As far as the rest of the games go, let's open up the app. The Orange Bowl tonight. A lot of orange in Miami tonight. You got Tennessee, Clemson, no Armani Hooker, no DJ Uyunglele. I can barely say his last name. But none of those guys. Just expect a lot of half beep, half donkey butt. Seriously, as far as the Orange Bowl goes tonight, because that is up, let's go ahead and just give you the bowl games right now, and then I'll finish out the pick. The game going on right now, we got the Gator Bowl with South Carolina and Notre Dame. The Gamecocks are Notre Dame is leading 38-31. And in the Arizona Bowl, you got Wyoming over Ohio, 17-11. That game is in the third. As far as the games that have finished today, in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, Maryland beat NC State 16-12, and Pitt beat UCLA 37-35 in the Tony the Tiger's Sun Bowl. But the only one I'm spotlighting here for a schedule, or for the bowls, at least today, the only one I'm highlighting today, Clemson over Tennessee. If you're looking for a score right here, let's see who's favored. Clemson by 4. Yeah, expect this to be in the mid-20s again. 24-20, Clemson over Tennessee. 24-20. And then for my college football fans, that, you got to recover for the other bowl games this weekend. Let's go ahead, or those that will happen on Monday. I'll give you guys those since, by the way, quick programming note before I finish out the picks. The first show of the year will be on Tuesday. So no show on Monday. So for my NFL fans, you're actually going to get a sneak preview too as to who I'm picking for Monday night as well. So let's go ahead, jump down here. Give you guys the game picks, at least the picks for the Sugar Bowl and the Rose Bowl. Those will be let's see. Got the Cotton Bowl on New Year's Eve too? Okay, no you don't. Alright, so let's see. As far as the playoff games, again, I've got Georgia over Ohio State 34-31. TCU over Michigan, or not TCU over Michigan. Michigan over TCU 28-24. In the Orange Bowl, I've got Clemson over Tennessee 24-20. Alabama over Kansas State. I'm not even going to give you guys a score for that one. That one should be a snooze fest. Alabama should run away with that. So I got Alabama winning the Sugar Bowl, Tennessee winning the Orange Bowl. Let's see. USC Tulane. I've got the Trojans winning the Cotton Bowl. And I've got Utah over Penn State. The highlight for that, the score for that game, 22-19. Another low-scoring affair, Utah over Penn State. So again, for the New Year's 6 bowl games, I've got Clemson over Tennessee, Michigan over TCU, Georgia over Ohio State, USC over Tulane, Alabama over Michigan State, or Kansas State, and then Utah over Penn State. So those are your winners for the college football New Year's 6 games, and the scores you're just going to have to scrub back and forth just in case. Or if you're watching this before kickoff, you might want to write it down or put it in your Apple notepads or Android phone notepads, whatever notepads you have on your apps. But please do that if you are confused there. But those are your college football picks for this weekend. Let's go ahead, stick to college. Let's go to college basketball. I'm only going to focus on the weekend. Again, only top 25 matchups. Okay, we got Pitt already beat North Carolina 76-74, and Miami beat Notre Dame 76-65. You got Wisconsin, Western Michigan. I'm going to go with the Badgers there. No specific score. And UCLA over Washington State. UCLA is favored by 8.5. Expect that, especially with Mick Cronin. Mid-70s game, 75 to, let's say, 66. UCLA over Washington State tonight. For tomorrow, UConn over Xavier, Virginia over Georgia Tech, TCU over Texas Tech, Kentucky over Louisville, Duke over Florida State, Houston over UCF, Kansas over Oklahoma State, Arizona over Arizona State, and Texas over Oklahoma, Baylor over Iowa State, New Mexico over Wyoming, Gonzaga over Pepperdine, and West Virginia over Kansas State. So those are your college basketball picks for tomorrow. And then Sunday, the only top 25 matchup in college basketball on New Year's Day will be UCLA and Washington. UCLA is going to go into Seattle, win that, and sweep the Washington schools. Let's see. They haven't even produced the line yet for that game. But UCLA over Washington, the only top 25 matchup on New Year's Day. With that, let's go ahead and get to the professionals now. Let's go first to the NBA. Give you guys the picks for this weekend. I've got the Wizards over the Magic, the Hawks over the Lakers, the Suns over the Raptors, the Bulls over the Pistons, the Bucks over the T-Wolves, Sixers over the Pelicans, Nuggets over the Heat, the Warriors over the Trailblazers, and the Jazz over the Kings. Those are your winners today. For tomorrow, I've got the Clippers over the Pacers, the Nets over the Hornets, Bulls over the Cavs, and the Knicks over the Rockets, Mavs over the Spurs, Grizzlies over the Pelicans, T-Wolves over the Pistons, Sixers over the Thunder, and the Jazz over the Heat. And then for New Year's Day, let's wrap that up there. I've got the Grizzlies over the Kings, the Bucks over the Wizards, and the Nuggets over the Celtics. So those are your winners in the NBA this weekend. I'm going to leave, all the Monday picks in the NBA and the NHL. I'm going to leave those, and I'll recap those. I'll either recap them or just see what I saw. I'll tell you guys what I saw on the day off for Monday. But anyway, let's get to the NHL and then wrap this show up with the NFL picks. Let's go to the NHL. We already have a game underway right now in Anaheim. The Predators lead the Ducks 3-1. Got the Predators to hold on there. That game's in the third, and honestly, being a Duck fan, this has been a lost season so far. I'll take the Predators to finish up the Ducks. Got the Penguins over the Devils. The Panthers over the Hurricanes, and the Oilers over the Kraken. For tomorrow, I've got the Bruins over the Sabres, Blackhawks over the Jackets, Golden Knights over the Predators, the Kings over the Flyers, the Capitals over the Canadiens, the Lightning over the Coyotes, the Wild over the Blues, the Avs over the Maple Leafs, the Red Wings over the Senators, and the Stars over the Sharks, Canucks over the Flames, or the Flames over the Canucks, and the Oilers over the Jets. And then on New Year's Day, of course, the Winter Classic. This is the only game I'm going to highlight here. I wonder if that's even in the list here. No, it's not. Oh, that sucks. Oh, man. Well, all right, let's just throw out the picks then. I thought the Winter Classic would be on today, or it would be on Sunday, but it won't be. I guess it'll be moved to Monday. Let's see. Yep, so the Winter Classic's on Monday. This is the only hockey game I'm going to highlight for Monday. Otherwise, I'll go back to the games list for Sunday. Penguins, Bruins in Fenway. One of the best hockey traditions that the NHL has pulled off since 2006. Playing outside in Fenway. Going with the Bruins. They've been great at home all year. I'll take the Bruins over the Penguins. But as far as the New Year's Day games go, I've got the Hurricanes over the Devils, the Rangers over the Panthers, the Blackhawks over the Sharks, the Senators over the Sabres, and the Islanders over the Kraken. So those are your picks in the NHL for this weekend and the Winter Classic pick. Oh, and as far as the score goes, expect 2-1. It'll go into a shootout, and the Bruins will win that. So that'll count as a goal for. So 2-1. Game will end in a shootout. I'll take the Bruins over the Penguins right there. But last but not least, let's see how much time I have left. All right, 14 minutes. Cool. I got 11 minutes left. Let's get these picks out of the way for this weekend. and even the Monday Nighter, which is the only spotlight game I'm going to choose because, trust me, looking at the early morning window, not really good. I'm not going to make the rest of the country threat over the NFC South title between the Panthers and the Bucks, but here we go. Here are the picks for the rest of the weekend. I have the Falcons over the Cardinals, got the Lions over the Bears, got the Chiefs over the Broncos, got the Dolphins over the Patriots, the Giants over the Colts, the Eagles over the Saints, the Bucks over the Panthers in a must NFC South title game. If the Panthers win, then all they have to do is win next week, and they will be the NFC South champions, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Panthers over the Bucks, Commanders over the Browns, Jags over the Texans, Niners over the Raiders, Seahawks over the Jets, Vikings over the Packers, Chargers over the Rams, and the Ravens over the Steelers. And then the Monday night game, the best game of the year, and this is the only game that gets a spotlight because this is for AFC supremacy. Whoever wins this will have, now granted, Cincinnati needs Kansas City to lose one of the two. Cincy needs to win out, and then Buffalo needs, they need Buffalo to lose next week. But this is the game of the year, or at least the game of the week. This is the only game that deserves a spotlight. As far as a combined total, watch for this to be 46 points. No question about it. Let's go 26-20. Probably the best game of the year. I would not be surprised if either team hits 30. Granted, it'll be Buffalo and it'll probably be snowing by that time. But expect this game to be a big one. I would not be surprised if either team gets to 30. Or even 35 for that matter. But I'm going to be moderately conservative on this one. 26-20. No Lyle Collins for the Bengals, so their offensive line's taking a little bit of a hit. But I still believe in the, I took the Bills, combined total 46, but you know what? I would not be surprised if the Bengals pulled this off. I'm going to go with the Bills for the show's sake. I'm sticking 26-20, but do not be surprised if the Bengals pull this off and say they win 34-28 or some weird thing. But to finalize everything for the show, 26-20, Bills over the Bengals. But again, the last time to run through these one more time. Ravens over the Steelers, Chargers over the Rams, Vikings over the Packers, Seahawks over the Jets, Niners over the Raiders, Jags over the Texans, Commanders over the Browns, Bucks over the Panthers, Eagles over the Saints, Giants over the Colts, Dolphins over the Patriots, Chiefs over the Broncos, Lions over the Bears, and the Falcons over the Cardinals. So that is week number 17 in the NFL. And with the time I have left, let's see. I got 18, 23 and counting. I'm going to make this quick. So for all the people who have watched this show all year long, it's been a really fun 2022. Gonna have the same games list, same nutty hot takes that either you've heard before or you're just hearing it with different eyes or different ears if you're listening on audio. But before I log off and give you guys the reads for how to find this show, I want to thank each and every one of you. No matter where you are, no matter who you are, thank you for making this show one of your favorite shows in your rotation. May not be the best show in the world, but it's a fun show. It's given me purpose, and honestly, I wouldn't do this if it was just me screaming into a camera all day and nobody paid attention. I wouldn't be doing this if that was the case. So I want to thank each and every one of you for listening and watching the Austin's Audit Podcast. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys in 2023. Peace out, and I'll see you guys Tuesday. Thank you for listening and watching the Austin's Audit Podcast. I've been your host, Austin Gerke. Don't forget, you can listen to this show on Podbean. Just search for the Austin's Audit Podcast. You can also listen to this show on Spotify, Google, Apple if you know the trick, Deezer, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and SoundCloud as well. You can also watch this show on Rumble, either by going to rumble.com on your desktop computers or downloading the Rumble app in the Google Play or Apple App Stores. Once you do that, search for the username ADGurkey. That's A-D-G as in girl, E-H-R-K-E. Again, that's A-D-G as in girl, E-H-R-K-E. Please make sure that search is set to channels, not videos. Click subscribe and you'll have every single episode of this lovely podcast, which is right now up to 476. Like, comment, and share so we can sneak up the Rumble and social media algorithms. Speaking of these social media algorithms, like, comment, and share all these videos on the Facebook page. I know I've been lazy with the videos, but that's why you go to Rumble first, because I don't really care for Facebook much. But you can follow this show's Facebook page, The Austin's Audit Podcast. Again, that's The Austin's Audit Podcast on Facebook. You can follow the show's Instagram hashtag, which is hashtag The Austin's Audit Podcast. Or you can follow me, yours truly, Austin Gerke, at Austi Spamanti. That's AUSTISPAMANTI on Instagram. And for post-episode interaction, you can follow me on Twitter at Austin_Gerke. Again, that's at Austin_Gerke on Twitter for post-episode interaction. With that, I am logging off. Once again, thank you for listening and watching the Austin's Audit Podcast. I've been your host, Austin Gerke. I had a great 2022, and it's mostly because of you guys out there. Thank you for listening and watching. Remember, no show on Monday, but the first show of the new year will be on January 3rd, which is Tuesday. So once again, and for the final time, thank you for listening and watching the Austin's Audit Podcast. I've been your host, Austin Gerke, and I'll see you guys in 2023. Peace out, everybody.